أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسولنا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. I'd like to first welcome every one of the brothers that have attended tonight's talk for another Saturday night. And again, there is benefit in mentioning when there is people outside elsewhere, these brothers or us choosing to come to a mosque for a short lecture, inshallah it's short, I'm going to try to keep it, but for a short lecture is massive. And inshallah, I feel like this is a amal that Allah would accept, because there is alternatives, but you yourself not choosing to go elsewhere is an amal, a accepted amal, inshallah. Today, I wanted to talk about some of the messages that Allah gives us, or some of the lessons that we can take out from Surah Al-Muddaththir, from verse 1 to 7. Inshallah, I won't keep it too long, but just to give a small context before we start the lecture. So, Surah Al-Muddaththir, the meaning is the cloaked one, and Muddaththir being the cloaked one. It's revealed at Mecca, and at the time that it was revealed, it's one of the first revelations, So before it, there was Surah Alaq, verse 1 to 5, and Surah Muzammil, and there was a couple other verses, but I think the point is, this Surah Al-Muddaththir was one of the first revelations. The revelations before were talking about, or were constructing the world, the inner world of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It was more so teaching the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam his mission, his purpose in life, and basically, we always refer to this example, but it's always nice to go back to it and mention. You know, a building, before they start a building, they dig down, and they go down a lot, and it is said that however much they go down, that's how much they'll start building, and that's how big the tower would be. And so to say, the verses or the revelations before Surah Al-Muddaththir were digging down in the inner world of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And after this revelation, that's when the building started. And so to say that these 7 verses contain, or these 7 verses teach Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam how to start the building, how to start. There's going to be 5 points that we're going to mention, and inshallah, this Quran wasn't just revealed to our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It was also revealed to us, and inshallah we're going to go through these points and try to take lessons, inshallah. So the first verse starts as, "You, bracket Muhammad, who are wrapped up in your vestment, O you who are wrapped in garments," or "O Prophet, the one that has been wrapped and overloaded with responsibilities." So the verse, "O you who have been wrapped with garments," to understand this verse, again, at that moment, our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, has been given some responsibilities and the verse is talking about, and there is some interpretations regarding that, where what he's being wrapped around is actually the responsibility. O you who have been wrapped with the responsibility of preaching, referring to our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and to us as well, because we all should be wrapped with the responsibility of preaching. And the verse after, and because we'll always give this example as well, you know how someone would be under a blanket, and whenever somebody's under the blanket, they'll think there's like this perception where I'm free from whatever's outside. You're under the blanket, you don't know anything about what's going outside, and you feel like you're safe. And so too, if we were to describe the state, our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam at the moment was under that blanket, and that blanket was the responsibility. And the Quran is describing him like that. And the next verse commands him, قُمْ فَأَنذِرْ, get up, as in get up and warn. So it's no more under the blanket, being free from responsibilities. You have responsibilities, get up, push that blanket off, and start to do what is needed. Start to do what needs to be done. قُمْ فَأَنذِرْ, get up and warn. But how? We said we're starting the building, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives this as well. He tells us how to start. And there's 5 points that states the principles of preaching, or the principles of starting to warn. First of it being, وَرَبَّكَ فَكَبِّرْ, only magnify your Lord. So when you are preaching, when you are warning people, just remember, وَرَبَّكَ فَكَبِّرْ, only magnify your Lord. Don't put anyone between your connection with Allah and yourself. Because there is going to be people that's going to offer you money. There is going to be people that saying, just like how it was to our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They said, they did like a deal with him, tried to, saying, I'm not too sure about the details, but they're like, 1 year your religion and the other year, our religion. We'll do that and everyone will be in peace. And literally, and Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, because he understood this verse very good, gave a response saying, even if you were to give the sun on my right and the moon on my left, I'm not going to give up on this path. And that's what, when you are preaching, there is going to be people that's going to put obstacles in front of you. If you decide to change that path, then what you did was, you put your desires, your fear, in between your connection with Allah. And that's why, again, just repeating, وَرَبَّكَ فَكَبِّرْ, when you are preaching, the only being that you should be fearing is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and there's nothing else. That's first. وَرَبَّكَ فَكَبِّرْ. Second, وَثِيَابَكَ فَطَهِّرْ, cleanse your garments. There's 2 ways we can understand this, and there is narrations that explain 2 interpretations as well. First of it, just like how it's mentioned, cleanse your garments. So when you are preaching, don't preach with dirty clothes, smelly. When they look at you, let yourself be clean. That's one interpretation. The other interpretation, which is the one that's accepted, majority accepted, is there's a thing as well. With the Arabs of the time, when you break your promise or when you lie, they'll say that you've dirtied your garment. You've dirtied your garment. As in, you've dirtied your heart, you've dirtied your reputation. And this is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is trying to refer to. Saying, keep your reputation. Keep your heart clean. Don't lie. Have good akhlaq when you're approaching people. Be truthful. Do what you are saying when you're preaching. Because there is a lot of people today, and like me, anyone could be subjected to this as well. We say stuff, but there's no action. And this, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that this isn't a principle. If you want to have effect on people when you're preaching, you have to do what you say. And again, saying that, clean your heart, don't have hatred against anyone, don't try to take revenge, keep your promises, have good akhlaq, cleanse yourself, and let your only goal be preaching and warning people. And only be afraid and only magnify your Lord. These are two steps, two principles. We're going to go on to the third one, inshallah. وَالرُّجُزَ فَهْجُرْ, and keep away from all pollution. And this again connects with the verse that we've just went through. You know how we said that, cleanse your garment? Again, be away from all pollution. What are these pollution? What are their gains? Again, desires. Be free from them. Be free from worshipping idols. And we've explained what idols was, and maybe it would be beneficial to explain it once again. Idols isn't just that physical idol that you have and you have the intention of worshipping. Yes, there is that aspect to it. But idol is whatever you worship. What is worship? Worship in its essence is anything that you submit to. Anything that, when we say Allahu Akbar, we are saying to Allah that whatever you say, we do. Whatever you prohibit us from, we don't. Just like that, our PS4 can be our idol sometimes. If our PS4 is saying do this, and if we're doing it, even though it's going against our religion, then that is our idol. Then we're worshipping that with Allah, maybe. Our school can be our idol. Our ideologies can be our idol, as we can see today as well. But again, وَالرُّجُزَ فَهْجُرْ, and keep away from all pollution, keep away from worshipping any other than Allah. Be free from them. That's third principle. Fourth, وَلَا تَمْنُنْ تَسْتَكْثِرْ, don't show favor seeking worldly gain. Don't expect in return. And I'll always refer back to this. Brothers that in ICMG, we do the brothers in ICMG organize events here and there. There was the neighborhood iftar recently, and we were speaking with a brother, a beautiful brother. If I mention his name, you guys might go and hug him as well, so I don't want to really think. Inshallah. We were mentioning that the people that organize that program, because they're doing it solely for the sake of Allah, if they were to think, this much amount of people came and, thus, it was all because of me, because I did this, because I did that, then they'll be going against this statement. They'll go against this principle, where it's saying, don't show favor, don't think that what you're doing is all because of you. Again, that's one of the interpretations that we can get. And don't seek worldly gain. Just because you did a favor, don't expect a favor in return. Today again, we see it a lot. We do something, 10 years pass down the track, and we remind the brother, I did this to you, and this is what happened, and look, you don't even thank me. But Allah, again, if you did it for the sake of Allah only, then if you're doing it for preaching, and if you're doing it what our Prophet Muhammad ﷺ did, trying to do what he did, then you have to do favor without thinking of, would he do something back to me? Would he be nice to me again? This is our fourth principle of preaching. Fifth and last is وَلِرَبِّكَ فَاصْبِرْ, Be patient for the sake of your Lord. Again, another commandment, be patient. So we said these are the principles of preaching. Whilst you're preaching, we said that there's going to be obstacles. There's going to be certain people, just like in the times of our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, where they're going to degrade you in the middle of public. Our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was preaching at the top of the mountain, and as much as I can recall, he said that if I tell you that there's going to be an army coming from this side of the mountain, the side that no one can see, would you believe me? And everyone said, yes, we do believe you, because you are Al-Amin. Then I am telling you that Allah is one, and I am His messenger. And Abu Jahl, Abu Lahab, replies, is this why you called us for? And starts degrading him in the middle of public. So you're going to be facing these kind of hardships. In your family, there's going to be people that's not going to believe, that's going to say, what you're doing is just, why are you doing this for? Why are you giving up on your time to do this favor for someone? Why are you giving up this sacrifice? Think about yourself a bit. They're going to say this certain stuff. They're going to say, your school studies, it's getting a bit too heavy on you. So if you want, leave your work with some organization that you're doing for the sake of Allah, leave that and focus a bit on yourself. There's going to be stuff like that. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us that principle as well. He says, be patient. There's going to be obstacles. Be patient. And what? For the sake of your Lord. Be patient for the pleasure of your Lord. Inshallah. Just to repeat these points. So we said that there's 5 principles for preaching and warning that every Muslim is supposed to do, because the Quran was revealed to us as well, and Allah does mention فَأَنذِرْ. And we said that the verses before Surah Al-Muddaththir was surahs that dug down in the inner world of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And now it was a time where we're going to build up. And in this verse, Allah is teaching us how to start. How, I don't know if it's the best to say, how to put the bricks, what to do, what are the secret methods. And we'll repeat it. وَرَبَّكَ فَكَبِّرْ, only magnify your Lord. Only fear Him when you're preaching. وَثِيَابَكَ فَطَهِّرْ, cleanse your garments, cleanse your clothing, as well as your heart. Have good akhlaq, keep it clean. Don't ruin your reputation within society by lying, by not being truthful. Second, third, وَالرُّجُزَ فَهْجُرْ, and keep away from all pollution, spiritual pollution. Keep away from the idols that you've been surrounded with. And again, only magnify your Lord. That's 3. 4, don't show favor seeking worldly gain. Don't do favor to someone expecting in return. Don't do favor for someone, don't do a sacrifice thinking that, I'm going to get this back in the world. Or don't think what you're doing or what you have done is all because of you. Because it is Allah it is with Allah that success comes. And 5th point is, don't be patient for the sake of your Lord. And be patient whilst you're preaching, whilst you're warning, because there would be obstacles to stop you, inshallah. These 5 principles are, these are the main principles for someone that's going to start preaching. Inshallah, there is, I would recommend everyone to, in their own time, think about these verses and start to get into action, inshallah. As the Fa'andir commands, inshallah. Jazakumullah khairan. Just a reminder that from now on, the lectures will be after Isha prayer. If there's people that still don't know, it would be nice if we could remind friends and families. There is room for the sisters as well, so we could call our mothers, sisters, if there's anyone in our family, inshallah. And that was just a small reminder. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. الفاتحة.